This is the Fearless Agent Podcast, where you learn how to make way more money fast selling real estate with your host, the Fearless Agent himself, Bob Loeffler.
And good day to you. This is Bob here at the Fearless Agent Podcast for real estate sales professionals just like you, where we explain that everything you've ever been taught by the whole real estate industry is wrong, and you will make lots more money in way less time by doing the exact opposite. So last couple of weeks, we've been talking about, in fact, 2 weeks ago, I was joined by my friend Tiffany, who is a spin-selling expert and maniac. And she was in here with a puppy. We actually had a puppy in the room here, but today I'm going to expand on that topic. So one of the parts we talked about, the research of spin selling, or that led to the book Spin Selling, which is the best book ever written on sales, talks about how for 100 years the sales has been taught the same way. So that is, you do a bunch of rapport building, and then you do the features. You do benefits, you show the features, but you actually sell the benefits, and then you overcome the objections. And the way spin selling, the science of spin selling, figured it out is the greatest salespeople that have way greater results. They do no rapport building. They do no features. They do no benefits. They never have a 21-point marketing program, and they, for that reason, don't make any promises, and they never experience any objections. So I got a little example. I was, if you fly a lot, you get the Sky Mall magazine. I think that went out of business, but in-flight magazines, they always have ads for all kinds of stuff. So I have an ad for a Daniel Steiger watch. And I want to read the ad, and you count the number of features and benefits, okay? So this is a 107, so it's the list price, $975, 81% off, now just $179. You save $796. That's a benefit, by the way. It says precision and luxury at its best. SEC's appeal is timeless. 5-year unlimited movement warranty. Ding, there's a feature. 30-day money-back guarantee. Bing, there's a benefit. The Daniel Steiger Equinox, a luxury timepiece with a high precision Swiss movement and diamond dial, ding ding, is now available direct from the manufacturer at the astonishingly low price of just $179. A savings of $796 on the retail price of $975. Ding ding. All the features and styling you would expect from a designer watch, including a magnificent presentation case, ding, at a fraction of the price you would expect to pay. Ding, we make beautiful watches, beautifully simple to buy. High precision Swiss movement, textured dial, rose gold-plated stainless steel case, blackened stainless steel rotating bezel and bracelet, day, date, time, and lunar dial, screw-down crown. That's my favorite Christian rock band, by the way. Diver's buckle, water-resistant to 10 ATMs. I don't even know what that is. That's 328 feet. It actually said what it is. 5-year unlimited movement warranty, includes new soft line wood finish presentation case. You get the picture. They love those features and benefits. So how do you sell a Rolex? That's the question. Well, in the Rolex ad, it's now this is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Day Date. I think this is about a $35,000 watch. I wouldn't know because I'm too cheap to buy a Rolex, but I think that's probably what it costs. This one says, "Live for greatness. At the heart of Rolex lies a strong and powerful belief. Live for greatness. The very spirit of who we are. It defines our timepieces, makes our crown iconic. Yet greatness is within everyone. Passion, drive, inspiration. They explain the how and why. Records are broken, breakthroughs are made, mountains are conquered. More than a destination, greatness is a journey that never ends." How many features and benefits do they mention when they're selling you a $35,000 watch? And the answer is none, because they know how to sell watches. So when you're a fearless agent, you're not going to be doing what other agents do on a listing presentation. When the other agents, your competitors, go on a listing presentation, they're going to talk about all the websites they stick you on, all the marketing they do, how they have a drone fly over your house, and which I would do if I was listing the Playboy Mansion, but that's a different story. At Hef's Place, you do have a flyover. But the features and benefits, it's Me Too and more of it at a lower commission. So what we are going to do is not do any of that. So no fearless agent is going to make any promises in the fearless agent listing presentation, and we're going to give people choices. So my favorite saying is, life doesn't give you what you want, it gives you options. So you give people only two options. You can sell your house the way all the other agents do it at a very low price, and the buyer gets a good deal and you lose tens of thousands of dollars. Or I can do it and sell it for tens of thousands of dollars more than it's worth. So that's your choice. So they don't need to like me if I'm the only guy that can sell the house for tens of thousands of dollars more than it's worth, which, by the way, I am. They would never have another choice. So I don't need to do any rapport building because I don't need them to like me. What I need them to do is not be allergic to money. So that's their choice. If you make it as simple as that, you're either allergic to money or you like money. And if you like money, you're stuck with me whether you like me or not. That makes it pretty easy. It's kind of like fearless agent coaching. If you like what I do, you can't get it anyplace else. So I kind of got you. If you don't like what I do, it really wouldn't matter. So in the Fearless Agent listing presentation, we've designed things that way. There are no bullet points, which is completely unprofessional. If you've ever sat through a real estate training class where they had a PowerPoint presentation with a bunch of bullet points, you know that the presenter does not know their material. So you are going to know the Fearless Agent listing presentation, and you'll be confident, and you just have visual images that are cues to walk you through it. So, and then we follow a program of presenting that goes like this. So you should write this down: point, story, data, fear of loss. Point, story, data, fear of loss, and then make the point again. And then you have a nice transition into the next topic. So when you're a fearless agent, you do things in a different order, and we've been talking in past episodes about that order. You've got this 10-step process. So you're going to ring the bell, you're going to smile, you're going to pay him a compliment, and you take him directly to the kitchen table. No professional real estate agent would ever tour the house first. That violates every principle of sales. So you're going to go directly to the kitchen table. Then you're going to break the ice. Then you're going to have a little our expired list introduction, which gets their head right, shows them what's at stake, lets them know who's in charge, so you're immediately in charge. And then gets those crazy questions out of their head. How much does she charge? How long is this going to take? That kind of stuff. Then you're going to give them a little preview of coming attractions to make them feel comfortable. And then you're going to ask them the 4 questions, and that's what sells them on you. So at the end of the 4 questions, the magic Fearless Agent questions, they're going to be saying, yes, this is my guy, this is my gal, this is the agent for me. There's no doubt about that. We're doing business with him or her tonight. No one would ever care more about me or my money than this agent. So they're sold at the end of the 4 questions. Then you take the tour, which becomes much less important when it's not about the house. When it's all about the house, the tour takes forever. When it's not about the house, it's kind of a perfunctory formality. Then you come back and you go through the images, which is an objection-crushing machine and a competition-crushing machine. So you come back and you sit down and you say, okay, well, let me show you how I work. Now, obviously, by the way, you got a great house here. But let me just take a few moments to show you how I work. Now, obviously, I work for Fearless Agent Realty. And I don't know how much you know about Fearless Agent Realty, but, we're number one in this and number one at that. Maybe you could say that. So that's a little data that you give them. But the real reason that I chose Fearless Agent Realty is they do the best job of helping me help you find that one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more for your house than anybody else in the whole world. And again, that's the goal. So, and that's the point, okay? So I don't know how many tens of thousands of dollars you would lose if I was working for the second best brand, but it's not worth it for me to find out. That's why I chose Fearless Agent, because you're worth it. Now, not every location of Fearless Agent is created equally either. Some of the offices are different than the others. So then I go into the next thing. So again, it's the point, it's the story, it's the data, it's the fear of loss, and then you have a nice transition to the next thing. So every one of the elements of the Fearless Agent listing presentation is set up that way. So that's the secret to presenting, is you're not going to be talking about, you're not going to do bullet points, which is unprofessional. You're not going to be doing features. You're not going to be doing benefits. And then what ends up happening is at the end of the 4 questions, they go, yeah, Bob's the guy for me. He's obviously, we're going to list with Bob. Then at the end of the listing presentation, they say, yeah, we're going to, you take the tour, then you come back and you go through what the objection crushing machine and competition crushing machine that is the Fearless Agent listing presentation. Then they say, which takes literally 5 minutes. Then they say, yes, I'm going to be listing my house with you tonight. Then you talk price, if they say that. And then at the end of the pricing presentation, they're always going to be begging you to underprice their house. They will always say, well, why don't we just underprice our house right off the bat? Now, only Fearless Agents hear that. Nobody else ever hears that. And then you explain the pricing strategy and how you're going to make the buyer grossly overpay, and then they love that. And they do everything you ask them to do. And you walk out with a full commission, 2% higher commission than any other agent can charge. And they had already met with 2 or 3 agents that charge 2% less, but they're listing with you. So that is why that happens, because we're not doing features and benefits and all the baloney that is taught to us, not only by the real estate industry, but really all sales training programs in general teach that, and it's provably not true. So what if, on another topic, by the way, if any of what we talk about on our podcast makes sense to you and you are earning less selling real estate than you wish you were, if you want to be able to go to every listing appointment and get it at full commission, get the seller to beg you to underprice their house, get a full-term listing, charge 7% and keep 4% when everybody else is charging 5%, and you're open to the idea of having some help with your real estate career, if you would like to learn more, you can always call me anytime. My cell phone number is 480-385-8810. And let's just see if you and what you're trying to do and what we do at Fearless Agent, if it would be a good fit. If it's not a good fit, I'll let you know and maybe recommend a different course for you. So 480-385-8810. That's toll-free day or night. By the way, I love talking to realtors. I don't want you to ever think you're bothering me. Please don't email me or text me, because there is no email or texting in sales. So always call me. I practice what I preach. And if you can't afford coaching and you wish you could, you can go to fearlessagent.com, watch our webinar. It's 45 minutes long. Take lots of notes. Go to our video training page. And my guarantee to you is that those free videos would be much, much better coaching for free than you would pay any other coach any amount of money for. And if you ever have a question, you can always call me, because we want to help you no matter what. So the other thing I wanted to mention is, imagine that you are you have to get 5 listing appointments scheduled this week. Now, I was talking to one of my coaching students. His name is Josh, and he's in the Portland, Oregon area. So Josh has been coaching with me for a while, and like many people, he was struggling to get 5 listing appointments a week scheduled, but that's always the goal I give everybody. So Josh called me and said, hey, I scheduled 7 listing appointments in the last 7 days. So that's one a day, more than one a day because he doesn't work 7 days a week. So think about that. Now, if Josh has scheduled 7 listing appointments in 1 week, and these are real listing appointments. These are not these visit things where you're just going to pop by and take a look at the house that other coaches teach. This is a real listing. So each one of these, he has all the decision makers are there. They have to sell. These are people who are real sellers. They're not only motivated, but they have to sell. They have 2 hours set aside to meet with him, so they know why he's coming over. They know he's coming over to give a listing presentation, and they're going to be listing their house. He has gathered all the information to do a ballpark market analysis, and he knows how much they think their house is worth. They told him that, and he knows how much they owe. So all of that is in place before he goes on these 7. So these are real listing appointments. So now Josh has already scheduled these 7 listing appointments, and you and I are going to give him some advice, okay? So is the advice we're going to give him that maybe he needs to do more marketing? No. He doesn't need to do more marketing. In fact, he doesn't do any marketing. He didn't get 7 listing appointments scheduled in 1 week because he does marketing. In fact, nobody does. How much marketing would he have to do to schedule 7 listing appointments in 1 week? There probably isn't enough money to do that, okay? So if you had to, in the next week, schedule 5 listing appointments, you have to get that done this week in the next 7 days. Or else, okay, I'm kidnapping your dog, What would you do? Now, you can only do this. You can only use social media, or you can only hold open houses, or you can only door knock, or you can only telephone prospect. So if you've got 7 days and you have to schedule 5 listing appointments and you can only do one of those, social media only, open houses only, mailing only, if you want to throw that one in there, door knocking only, or only telephone prospecting, which would you pick? Now, most people are going to pick telephone prospecting, and that's what I would pick. So if that's true this week, would it be true the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that? Well, yeah, it would be true. So when I was in real estate, I didn't like, let me put it this way, I got addicted to telephone prospecting. And I think every one of my coaching students has had that breakthrough at some point. They all of a sudden say, that thing I didn't like to do, now I don't even like going on the listing presentations. That seems like drudgery. I'd rather just stay in my office and make the calls. So you get, whatever you do, you get addicted to it. And so then if I'm addicted to that, am I going to want to, and I'm earning $400 an hour, which I was, then would I want to do an open house? Now, some people like to do open houses. I'd rather stab myself in the eye than do an open house, but I'm not going to inflict my taste on you. So can you make a very, very good living in real estate just doing open houses if you do it the Fearless Agent way? Yes. I had a coaching student of mine. He scheduled 7 listing appointments in 1 open house. I had another person scheduled 6 in-office buyer appointments from 1 open house. So, yeah, you can make a lot of money doing open houses. But if you can schedule 7 listing appointments every week or 5 listing appointments every week, cold calling, would you rather do that? So the answer is probably telephone prospecting might be the thing that you would want to stick with. So find something that works. It's dependable. It always will work in any market, any time, and focus on that thing that you're great at and that you can depend on. So a number of years ago, there was a cold calling study by Baylor University, because they don't have anything better to do in Texas at Baylor University. So they did a study on cold calling for realtors. So what they did is they broke it down to, they got 134 volunteer agents from 10 geographic areas of the United States. So what they did is they gave these agents the words to say. They gave them random phone numbers where these agents had never done any previous marketing, and they asked the agents, would you volunteer to cold call and commit to it, to cold call for 7 days using the same script, okay? So, and then track their stats. So what they're going to do is make, cold calls for 7 days for a certain number of hours, using and it added up to 12 hours total of cold calling over a 7-day period. So 134 agents committed as volunteers. They made a commitment to cold call for 12 hours only in 1 week, over a 1 week period. So here's the question. How many, now I know it's shocking, but there are agents who will overpromise and underdeliver, okay? So of the 134 agents, how many of them do you think, this is a quiz question and there is no prize, don't try to get a prize, write down the number of agents who you think did not complete all 12 hours of cold calling that they promised they would do, okay? So write down your number. All right, the true answer is 134. Not one of the 134 agents that promised that they would do 12 hours of cold calling did more than 11 hours. Shocking, I know. So the results were that every 60, there was about 6,264 calls, live telephone calls, 19 appointments scheduled, 11 referrals gotten. Every 60 people reached equaled 1 appointment or referral. So even though all the agents didn't do what they said they were going to do, they did keep their data, and they had enough data to know some things. So it took, on average, 6 hours to do 1 appointment. Now, I happen to know one of the agents that participated in the Baylor University, just as an odd coincidence. But she told me what it was like and the words they were told to say. Well, I can tell you the words they were saying were horrific, bad, but it only took them 6 hours to schedule 1 appointment on average. And then it took 12 hours to get 1 closing closed. And it turned out, based on the sales prices, that they were earning $386 per hour. And this is using the worst words that you would ever even imagine saying. And if you want to know what they are, you could Google any kind of the 2 most famous coaches on planet Earth, and they'll be blurbing out those words for you. So the question is this. This is the question that was answered by this research study. The question is, would the average agent be willing to call 15 hours a week, 3 hours a day, to make $300,000 a year? And sadly, the answer was no. Yeah, most agents, the average agent, would not be willing to call 15 hours a day, 15 hours a week, which is only 3 hours a day, and earn in return for that $300,000 a year. And why is that? Well, the reason why is because when they agreed to do the cold calling and committed to doing the 12 hours, they did not know that they were going to be earning $386 an hour. In fact, I would bet most agents that do cold calling every day and have done it for years have never dollarized it and figure out what it was per hour. So I know for me, I was making over $400 an hour when I was telephone prospecting. So it's a pretty good living. That's $800,000 a year if you did it 40 hours a week, which of course you probably couldn't, but maybe you would wish you could. So it's an easy thing to get addicted to, and when you do get addicted to it, it's insanely profitable. So the problem that most people have, and the reason that my company is called Fearless Agent, is most people don't like to cold call for this reason. I don't want to cold call because somebody might say yes. They're not afraid that people will say no. They're not afraid of rejection. They're afraid that somebody's going to say, yes, I would like you to come over and show me your plan for how to get my house sold. Because they know when they go, they're going to choke. Well, no fearless agent ever chokes. That never happens. So the difference is, I've got fear. Whenever somebody is brand new with me, I always give them a goal if they're brand new in real estate because they don't know what's possible. And I say, I want you to do 40 listings in the next 12 months. And what it's going to take is 5 listing appointments a week in order to do that, because 2 of them will cancel. You'll go on 3 and you'll get 1 listing. And your stats could be better than that, but that would be normal. Okay, so that would be normal if you were a fearless agent or not, probably. So if you're going to schedule 5, 2 cancel, go on 3, get 1, you're going to do 40 listings in a year, and you're going to make a lot of money in your very first 12 months in real estate. So now I have coaching students that do 160 listings in a year. That's 4 times as many. So the question is, and they do it all by telephone prospecting. They don't do any marketing at all. So if it's 4 times as many, how many listing appointments do they have to schedule in order to do 4 times as many? Well, 4 times 5 is 20. Do you think they're scheduling 20 listing appointments a week? And the answer is no, they're scheduling 5. You'll never need to do more than 5. The difference is they've figured out a way to never have anybody cancel a listing appointment, and they get every listing they go on. So, at the end of my real estate career, it was much different than in the beginning. In the beginning, I would schedule 5, 2 would cancel, I'd go on 3 and I'd get 1. But at the end, nobody ever canceled. I figured out a way to make that not happen because I'm better on the phone. And there's some other little tricks that we teach you guys to keep people from canceling. And every one I would go on, I would get it listed because I'm not going on week appointments. We're not doing these visit appointments, the chit-chat. It's a real listing appointment. And we have made sure that they are people who have to sell ahead of time on the phone. There is a way to figure that out. We know that they are realistic on the price. They have a ton of equity. And how do I know they have a ton of equity when I'm cold calling? Well, I'm not cold calling areas that are new. I'm cold calling older neighborhoods with older people, and older people almost always have equity, not always. But if they bought the house a year ago, and they're thin on the equity, maybe I just don't waste my time with that. Maybe I just say, that one's not for me. Maybe it's not a good fit. No big deal. But it doesn't matter because I'm booking 5 with them or without them. So if I blow that one off, I'll book another one to replace them. So that's what we do for a living, okay? So the main thing, keep the main thing the main thing. So what is the main thing in real estate? It's generating leads. All the money and ultimately is going to come from that. So that's what we want you to be great at Fearless Agent. So, and once again, I want to thank you for joining us today. One favor I have to you, please do visit us at fearlessagent.com. You can always call me directly at 480-385-8810. If you enjoy our podcast, please do give us a 5-star review on iTunes, if you would. That would help me out. And then and that way we can reach more people, I guess. So visit us on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Everywhere you turn, we're there. Please, again, go to the website, watch all the videos, and until next week, remember, we always do 3 things every week. What are they? Number 1, have fun, because if it ain't fun, we ain't doing it. Number 2, be humble, because once you have all these amazing skills, I don't want you to become arrogant. And then number 3, and most of all, be fearless. Thanks, gang.